Good idea, Donna. For those of you who know, I grew up with out my biological father in my life. I seen him once when I was 4. He's seen Michael once. When my brother Sam was born, my mom had said that she heard that we had a brother named Sam. They lived in California. As the years went on, I had found out that I had at least 2 brothers, Sam and his brother, but I didn't know Joe's name. And my mom had also said that she heard we have a couple, or we have a Mexican brothers or sisters. She just heard something like that. So, a couple years ago, as I started getting older, I'm like, I got an incredible brother. I love this kid to death. He's the best. He's the top of the line guy. My other brothers might be like that too. Do I, die and without trying to find these kids, or, is that the right thing to do? And it just didn't sit right with me. These kids are part of me. I want to know them. I'm going to love them, and I want to know them, and I want to be there for them, and, that's just the way it is. I mean, they're my brothers. So I try to find Sam for like a year, and the kid's an absolute ghost. You can't find this kid. There's nothing on this kid online. So one day I was Googling my biological father, and I had come across some information, and it showed his other son's name was Joe. So I found Joe on Facebook, went on his pictures. He looked like me. But he's one of them guys that doesn't go on Facebook a whole lot, or he didn't have much activity. So I went on his friends list and found somebody that was a little bit active, and I sent her a message. Come to find out, it's Joe's girlfriend's, longtime girlfriend's daughter. So on Mother's Day was the first time I ever talked to Joe. He didn't really believe me that we were brothers, but when he looked at Michael's pictures, he was pretty sure then that I was telling him the truth. A week before Joe came to town to meet us, my aunt and uncle from California came, and they spent like 4 or 5 days with Michael. So a week later, when Joe came, Michael mentions that they had said that we possibly have another brother who's half Mexican. So the key to finding this kid, we talked about it, and we said we got to find this kid. And sorry, Billy, but we were referring to you as Jose. Don't take it personal. We got to find Jose. So when Joe got home, he made a phone call, because Joe was the key to this. And he calls me and he gives me this name. He says, this is the kid's name, William Billy Mertens. I'm like, Billy? What's up with the Billy? He goes, I think that's what they call him. So I'm searching for William Mertens, William B. Mertens. I didn't know the kid's middle name. And I finally find one website, and it says William so-and-so Mertens, and at the bottom it says mother's name, or alias, Rocha. I'm like, well, that sounds Mexican to me. Go over to the right, and it says possible relatives, and then it said possible roommates. So there was this girl's name as possible roommate, so I found her on Facebook, and I'm looking at her pictures, and she's got this tall, dark-looking, good-looking guy in her pictures. And I'm like, well, I wonder if that's him. Maybe it's his girlfriend, and he's not on Facebook. So I send a picture of this guy to Joe, and he says, well, he's got my cheeks, but nah, he doesn't really look like me. I'm like, all right. So I go on her friends list, and I do a search for Mertens, and there aren't any Mertens that come up. So I'm like, well, I'll do a search for Rocha. So I do a search for Rocha, and I find Billy Rocha Becker. I'm like, well, this a long shot, but I took his picture, sent it to Joe, and Joe instantly was pretty sure that this kid was our brother. He goes, that has got to be him. He said, he looks like me and my brother Sam put together. I says, well, do you want me to message him or something? So we decided to try and get a hold of him. So I went on Billy's pictures and found a business card and called him. Okay. When I called him, I think it freaked him out. He was told me he was shaking. At that time, we had determined that we weren't sure if we were related. Hence the DNA test. Okay. The DNA test results came in yesterday, as a lot of you know. And just to make sure, I called there today, and she said, oh, absolutely, this kid is your brother. So that's the story. Donna, great idea. I know a lot of you had asked questions. Through Google and Facebook, you can do anything. I would never have found any of my brothers without Facebook. People can hate on Facebook all they want. I have the best friends in the world, and now I have the best brothers in the world, and it's all because of Facebook. Thanks again for all your support. I've had people calling me today, calling me yesterday. Thank you. I love you all. I love my brothers. That's the story. Peace.